All right. Boom. Two. All right. It's time for episode 77.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. What is going on there, kings and queens and everybody in between? It's your boy MFC coming back at you with yet another edition of the Clout.WAV podcast, episode 77. Yeah, I know. Some of y'all didn't think we would get this far. Some of y'all thought we might have fallen into the Valve way of doing things where we can't count to three. But rest assured, we've done that over 30 times now. Technically, if you count the last season, because it's the new season, but once again, I digress. But before we jump into that, there's plenty of things that we're going to have to jump into this week. But first, pleasantries need to be done. Subtle fraudulence. How you doing, buddy? You doing good? I heard that Dragon Con was a rounding success for you guys, and you guys had a great time.
Yeah, it was an adventure. I went out there. I fought the beast. I came back.
Oh, the beast.
And then I came back, and then I suffered. I suffered from the success that was Dragon Con. So
suffering from success. You hate to see it. You really do. But at the same time, there's also
came back
Right.
on Monday, and caught a little something that the kids are calling the COVID-19.
Oh,
and so,
no.
Yeah,
Yikes.
I've been.
But you've been quarantining, right? Drinking water, getting them fluids.
Of course, of course. I'm not trying to give it to other people. I'm trying to make sure that I'm safe, and so is everyone else. And so, I spent.
And that's why I didn't go to Dragon Con, because
because you already got it. Yeah, that's right. We know.
I'm a victim. You see, we're all victims now. It's very unfortunate.
It's crazy. We were very, very close to having the entire team just not show up because of too many people getting sick. That's insane.
And then one dude missed his flight completely, but technically he's not a part of the main core team. But it's just like, come on, man, how you get the layup?
That was such a it was such a strange thing to hear. That well, apparently, he went to a bachelor party.
Yeah, he said he went to he said they said he went to a wedding, and he got a little too drunk and he shivered his timbers, and that hangover was something crazy. And he woke up. He said, "Oh, my flight already took off. Can I catch the next one?" They said, "Who paying for that? You?" And well, hashtag Team Broke Boys over there couldn't facilitate their own roadmap here, because it's like, nah, you only get one for free. You only get one. You're not doubling up. It's not going down like that. But I digress. Reeling ourselves back in. I'm glad that you're feeling in lighter spirits. I see that you've been able to go at least a whole couple paragraphs without having hit the cough-a-rooski. So let's hope that we stay in those good fortunes, because trust me, COVID cough ain't no joke, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of them coughs where normally if you get a cough, you can stifle it. You can go and not let it out. COVID cough, it's happening with or without your permission. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So you might as well just stop trying to fight it, because it's coming, whether you want it to or not. But speaking of things coming, whether you want it to or not, the Little Mermaid Under the Sea is looking like a lot of people are wondering, how did we get here? Now, personally, I've saw the original Little Mermaid once when I was 6 or 7. I don't really recall that movie that well. But I will say this, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. You are more of a Disney person than I know. Is there anything that is inherently in that movie that requires Ariel to be Caucasian? Like just genuinely, does it help with her lore at all? I'm just trying to figure some things out.
Absolutely not, man. It doesn't it doesn't matter at all.
It's not like she's going through a whole crowning of coming of age story that can only be related to white anthropomorphic human women? Like, is that no?
No,
That's
the story is about a mermaid who sees a man and is like, "Yo, I'm trying to get some of that," and realizes, "Oh, damn, I don't have feet. I can't breathe on air," and makes a fucking deal with a sea urchin, a witch, who, to get some legs. And then doesn't realize it's like, oh yeah, well I'm gonna take your voice, so you can't talk to him, but you'll be able to like show up and wiggle your nose or whatever. So, whatever. And the witch is like, meanwhile, I'm gonna take her voice and I'm gonna use that to entice this man and then steal, I don't know, his riches. I honestly didn't even understand, like, why the hell was she doing that? Like, uh, he was kind of rich, but like it was not necessary because she doesn't need money. So, and they had like sunken treasure and shit. She just really was just like, I'm trying to fuck up your life because your dad like exiled me to the dark, the dark ages and whatnot. And it's like,
because I know some people are talking about, yeah, but the king of the sea, Poseidon and Atlantis. Like, is there anything that is inherently like Nordic or Greek or Scandinavian, any culture that is like primarily of the Caucasus variety? Is that something that's deeply rooted in just absolutely in the veins, the DNA of the Little Mermaid? Like,
no,
so it's not,
absolutely not. I'm gonna
because
tell you right now, that's more rooted in Cinderella than Ariel from the Little Mermaid. And we had the BET version of Cinderella that had Brandy. I
Mhm.
hear people going crazy over that. So, nah, not necessary at all. Like, it
Because
doesn't take away from the story at all because Ariel's like race is not like important to her identity. She doesn't really like understand concepts like that, and the movie doesn't even talk about concepts like that. People are just there. I mean, there are people of like there are mermaids of like different nationalities that are in the cartoon movie. I think the original like the source material might have something a little more specific, but who the fuck reads out here? So,
I mean,
yeah.
in the original book. Now, correct. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong, because this story is like what 200 and well, about 200 years old now, roughly.
Yeah.
And like, wasn't that like not just about getting feet? It was about getting a human soul.
No, it was really just about the feet. She just wanted to be human presenting to this man so that he would like love her or whatever.
I
So
thought the
it
original Danish fairy tale was something about she wanted a soul.
Ursula wanted his soul. Because Ursula also collected souls of like mermaids and people and whatnot, in order, but like Ursula's like whole goal was to use this as a way to get the trident from Ariel's dad. It might as well be fucking
Yeah,
Poseidon.
but I think you're talking about the original movie. I'm talking about the original like Danish folklore tale. Like I'm asking
Oh yeah,
about that. Like, because these characters didn't have names. I don't even think there was an Ursula.
true.
So like, I was just like, does it really matter? Like, you've changed the plot before,
As
and this
Disney
ain't even
does.
changing the plot. And some people are just like,
Mhm.
I'm mad because Disney's gone woke. This the same Disney that, 3 or 4 years ago, took a black man and made him smaller than the fine print on medicine bottles and tell you, if you take this pill, you could die, because they thought that Chinese money was about to be infinite, about to come in and save the world.
Yep.
Max capitalism. Look, the minute I'm talking about to the frame, they see this skin tone, this skin color right here, that melanatedness, and they see that it's not popping no more. They think that even they get the slightest inkling that it's not going to be profitable, it's not going to be there. Disney has proven that fact that if they feel as though the black is holding it back, well, guess what? They gonna take the L out of black, hand it to the black folks, and they just gonna keep pushing it back. All right, that's what they gonna do. They have shown that they are willing to do exactly that. So hearing this whole Disney's gone woke, no, Disney is trying to do whatever they think they can to throw something out there as bait and cash in on their chips. That's what big Disney is going to do. If it just so happens to get a demographic of people to go, oh, I feel represented, that's just a happy little accident that happened along the way. All right. Yeah, that's number one. Let's just get that straight from jump. However, I have seen some people talking about that they, are upset about this movie. And if you want to talk about the trailer having a drab color scheme, because let's be honest, I do remember that the first Little Mermaid movie that Disney made, that was a bright fucking movie. There was colors everywhere, bright ass fish. Everything was light. This looks like it's very great. This honestly looks like a Zack Snyder Justice League type film from the trailer. It looks weird. So, like, if you wanted to go that route and say things look a little bit drab for Little Mermaid, okay, I can see that. But let's forget all that for a second. I want you to picture an actual crustacean, a genuine crab or lobster. Genuine, with the little mess, the little eyes and a little sideways walk. I want y'all to look at that creature. Picture it in your mind. See it going back and forth. Now imagine it going under the sea. Like we saw with Lion King doing its live action version. That this doesn't work when you take these animals that are realistic and then you try to force them to have human emotions that we as human beings can represent and coincide with. It just doesn't look right. And you see, crustaceans have this, this exoskeleton where you're not really going to be able to see the look in their face. They're not really the most expressive of creatures on this earth. So if they're going to keep it with everything's going to be, in a sense of realism and kind of puppeteered, you got to admit this movie's going to be some type of hilarity at some point. That's just number one. Number two, you guys are complaining about, the skin tone of Ariel. When yeah, she does have that's
the thing that I don't get. It's like you're mad about this, but like they chose an actress who's light skinned in the first place, so it's like they honestly didn't really make too big of a change. Like one, she's underwater most of the time, and two, like when you actually just see it in the trailer, like she's pretty light. And so they're like, no, she's be pale. What is this? It's like,
she's got to look like Casper the Ghost or some shit. But like, some people are very upset because, I guess because they're taking away a character. And there's always this dog water, horse shit, like absolute dog manure take that I always see. Well, what if we took a black character and made him white? Bitch, Jesus right there, brother. The fuck is y'all talking about? He been there. Y'all been that. Y'all done that. Come on now, don't act like you haven't done it and still do it to this day. But even
May I interject and remind everyone that there was a little something back in the day called blackface that was made specifically to do this exact thing. And as a community of black people, we just had to like take that on the chin, because if you're like, yo, what the heck? I don't even look like that. Come on, man. They would kill you. They would just kill you.
Look, I know Johnny Depp is at the 100% the Caucasus Mountain, but that man was a Native American in a movie once. So like, don't act like these things don't have a history of happening at some point.
They still happen.
And look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Do I personally give a fuck if you take a black character and make them white? No. The only thing that I have ever given a fuck about in media is if you're going to make a character and you're going to change it, can you make the lore match the shit that you're doing? Can you make it good? Can you make it presentable? Can it be well thought out? Because what I'm sick of is them taking a black person, an Asian person, any minority, pick one. They could be a woman, whatever, and just throwing them out there in the forefront and then writing absolute horse manure, some dog shit, some trite, some absolute mind-boggling, mind-numbing, just absolute atrocity of cinema or video game, comic book, whatever. And then when they write garbage, they go, well, actually, you can't criticize it because you're just insert ism against this insert minority here, because that criticism that you're giving us just proves that you're sexist or you're racist or you're transphobe, etc., so on and so forth. When they start using the minorities as a shield to protect their dog shit, that's when I have a problem. Now, for example, the reason why I say that the argument that I was alluding to earlier, this dog shit argument that I hear a lot, is usually centered around if they make a black character white, and it's for some reason, there's like no other black characters when it comes to the people who bring this up. They only want to talk about T'Challa. That's the only one that's ever in their pocket. What if we made Black Panther white? Boom. Here you go. I'm going to do y'all a fucking favor. Watch this shit. Okay? Ready? You can have a white Black Panther. You can. You can do that. And I'm going to tell you how to get there. It's going to be a short little side, but this is how you get there. You know how Wakanda is opening up its borders? They're showcasing that, wow, maybe we can help the rest. Maybe we have something that the rest of the world don't have. Then you can even have a whole thing where they look at America and they see they have a lot of parallels, but they clearly have the ability to do the American dream better than America. So when they open their borders, it's a tourist attraction. You can have white people come in, Asian people, Indian people all over the globe coming into Wakanda. Then you can have some sort of event, and there's a white guy who's there, and I don't know, he falls in love with, let's just say a Wakandan royal guardswoman, or hell, just someone in the royal family. Let's just skip the middleman, all right? So they all in love, and he's part of the family, but she doesn't like to fight, but he understands all the strife that she has to deal with, and they confide in each other. So when they think that she needs to be the Black Panther, she makes him the Black Panther, but she handles the royal duties because the people in Wakanda may know, all right, look, you the Panther, but you'll never be our royalty. And now you can have a whole dichotomy between the white man who feels like he doesn't belong and he's in place, even though it sounds like I'm literally just describing Winter Soldier, but shut the fuck up, all right? Relax, okay? But some people would say, but if we did that, like, wouldn't that make you guys like upset? And it's like, no, because if you did that, you know what we're getting? You're getting a Black Doctor Doom. Hey man, if you can swap one, we can swap the other. And I know for some reason y'all gonna see a white T'Challa and be like, yeah. But as soon as y'all see a Black Doctor Doom, then y'all gonna do that. So I'm just letting you know. I don't give a fuck what the race is. You can have a fucking Asian Tony Stark. Do you think I give a shit? No, I don't. Just write the story to be good and presentable. You ain't gonna have no problem out of me. Make it make sense. That's all you got to do. But as you saw with She-Hulk, they have people behind the scenes admitting that they can't write the shows and the stories that they want to write, so they have to call these audibles. Now, I'm not saying that She-Hulk, the show in and of itself and what it's doing right now is bad, but they clearly admitted they are inept at writing the original thing they were originally going out to do. That's all I'm saying. If you know you can't do it, don't do it bad, do something else. They did that. Congrats. But this Little Mermaid thing, whole thing is stupid to me. From tiggity top to bippity bottom, the whole thing is just like one big silly shit show as far as I'm concerned, because I don't think it's a big issue what race the fictional character that doesn't exist is.
There we go. Also, let's make this very very known now. You don't have to watch everything. Like you mentioned She-Hulk, you mentioned how like the writers had to like call some audibles. They have too many goddamn writers for that show, by the way. And how like they basically had like a bunch of like comedic writers as opposed to anyone who could write like an actual court procedural, because they wanted to make court procedurals a thing for the show, which I don't know, that could have been good, but it probably would have been more so boring. And instead they decided to lean in on the comedy aspect, which is good because it works with the character and shit like that. People constantly complain about it. The showrunners knew. The show actually like makes like a reference, like people episode will come out, people will complain about it, and then the next episode will literally like make a reference of like, oh, they were probably like complaining about that thing, huh? And it's just like, yeah, they could literally sense the outrage that was gonna come with the decisions they made for the show, which was not even a big deal. And the main thing you can always say is, you don't have to consume this content. Everyone who complains about the MCU right now and how the MCU is right now, you don't have to watch every single thing. In
like,
fact,
look, I'll give you a perfect example. I watched the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. I thought that shit was dog shit. And I said, you know what? Star Wars just ain't for me anymore, you boy. Go ahead, clock out. And I clocked out.
Don't worry, boy. We got another TV show coming, going straight to Tatooine.
I ain't never seen none of these TV shows. I ain't seen Obi-Wan. I ain't seen the anime. What was it? Visions or some shit. I ain't never seen none of these. And I don't intend to. Because it's okay.
Fine.
It's okay. You don't have to watch it. I don't need to watch Mandalorian. It's fine. And here's the thing. It could be good, but it's clear to me that the vision for Star Wars as a grandiose epic, like the whole, like that shit's over. That shit is sailed. Yeah, and they continuously keep fucking things. So I'm just like, hey, yo, y'all can green eggs and have it, bro, guy. That's it. I'm cool. It's okay to move on. As I said, I haven't even, like, there's nothing in here that even twinged in my brain about the Little Mermaid until this happened. So, as I said on Twitter, I'm not going to see the new one either. Because first of all, I'm not even the target audience. That's number one. And number two, if I ain't give a shit about something for over 20 years, why would I give a fuck now? Because some of y'all are in the same camp, but all of a sudden y'all care about the Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid is an anchor of your childhood. Shut up.
It's not.
Shut the hell up. Yeah, stop the cap. Stop the cap on the app.
It's not.
You could stop.
It's usually like grown ass men who are like complaining about this, who will say that's oh, that's pussy shit, or that's for little girls. They ain't for me. I don't like that shit. It's like, but it's gonna ruin the mind of my daughter. And it's like,
it's like first of all, you were Andrew Tating it 4 minutes ago. What happened, boy? Yeah, what you like, you good? But like, even if you want to peel back another layer of this already complex onion about this stupid topic, okay. There are some people who are like, yeah, but I just think that, we should keep things pure. And it's like, if you think we should keep things pure, then I'm going to tell you something right now. Oh, no, wait, hold on. I'll explain. What they mean by this, I think we should keep the things the way they are 1-to-1. And it's like, okay, if that's what you think, I better not see you watching shit with a number after it. That's number one. I better not see you catch a reboot of nothing. I better not damn ever see you catch a modernization of some shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like, when you say these things, these words have consequences. They mean things. Some of y'all say we should keep things 1-to-1. That means you just want the same story 1-to-1 every single fucking time. And if that's the case, just watch the original.
Yeah.
Because it still exists.
Yeah.
You do know that, right? It's not like they said, we're going to re-release the live action version and then we're going to put the other Little Mermaid in the vault. And for those of you who own the VHS tapes, the Betamaxes, the DVDs, the Blu-rays, and the streaming services, all those versions are being sent to the vault and are going to self-destruct on August 15th, 2023. Get ready. Like, that's not happening. Like, you guys got to stop. Now, another thing that I want to say is when people say, what about casting, like, different races for other people? Look, I'm going to cover the basis on this one. I know it's a stupid basis to cover, but if we're having a documentary about Martin Luther King and y'all get this motherfucker on the screen right now, cast as Martin Luther King. See, Martin Luther King is a real person. I bet I see Seth Rogen being Martin Luther King, all right? I just want to make sure that we're all in agreement here that, like, I just want y'all to know, like, with real people, this doesn't work. All right. But with a fictional character who in no way, shape, form, or facet exists in this plane of reality or the next, stop. You can do whatever you want. You really can. It's not that big of a deal whatsoever at all, provided you can make it make sense. But it's not like the Little Mermaid has this advanced, long, 30-year history of books and sequels and deep lore that is all interconnected between its sequels, its books, its predecessors, that really just absolutely enhances the fact that a character needs to be a particular race. Because if they're mermaids, it's not like they're from the fucking Caucasus Mountains or Africa, because they're under the fucking water, which is 70% of the planet, which means really a fish can do any fucking thing it wants. But we've done talked about this shit for long enough. It's time for us to go above sea level.
Whoa, sir. Whoa,
you got more
about it. You.
Oh, okay. All right, hold on. I just got command grabbed.
I gotta throw some.
Hey, get it off your chest,
here.
Man. Fire one off, man. Talk.
If you are a person and you are online seeing somebody complain about this piece of media, and they're saying, "Oh no, it's not. It's not pure. It's not. Why would they do this? It's going to change everything." First off, this movie is probably going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Like from the trailer, it looks like it'll be pretty good. If you're like a huge Little Mermaid fan, it'll probably be pretty good. And that'll be that. This movie doesn't look like it's gonna change the world or be like the best thing ever or whatever. But if you see somebody and they're complaining about the casting, they're complaining about the race of Ariel. One, you don't even have to engage with them. You already know what it is. That person is the look. I saw the post of the guy who was like,
AI?
I fixed the wokeism that's in here. And then at the end of all of that, changing this character to like a ginger woman who Ariel was not in the first place. Then being like, "Oh, but don't call me a racist, please." Like it's like,
so you want to know what's funny about that? Since you brought it, I wasn't even gonna give that shit the light of day, but since you brought it up, yes, there is a tweet that basically is somebody saying that they've comprised a AI that can artificially lighten the skin and play with the lighting of the movie, because they did it for the trailer, and they showed a screenshot where Ariel, like you said, looks like a Caucasian pale ginger woman, and they said we're going to go frame by frame and fix the movie. Which, when you think about that, what that means is you think this movie will be fine to good, and the only problem is the skin tone.
There we go. And
if that's the case, I mean, that's racism. That very specific case, that's racism. If you agree with, well, if this guy was just a little lighter, if the complexion was more Caucasian oriented, then it'd be a classic. But now that I have to watch this Negroid prime,
we as don't think need to recognize red flags and just count them for what they are. When you see that someone is dedicating their time, their life to doing that kind of shit, that is not a person you want to interact with. That is not someone you want to interact with. If you do want to interact with them, you're both on the list. All right. So it's simple as that. We could just keep it at that. You see that dude saying all that stuff and be like, man, you're fucking weird, and then just move on. If he tries to like come after you and try to like argue, but what are you saying? I'm not racist. That's cool, man. You're fucking weird. you get out. It's as simple as that. But most people get so heated about these things that they get into all these crazy, long-winded arguments with all these people who are dumb as shit, or people who are just bad faith and all these things. And it's like, all you really got to do is be like, it's really weird, man. This is weird behavior. Like what? You're so focused on this thing. Really weird. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep enjoying my life. I'll watch the movie when it comes out. Are you gonna watch it? No? All right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, most of these people who are up in the tiff and screaming at the top of their lungs, they're not even gonna watch the movie any damn way.
Exactly.
Many of which who are yelling ain't even watched the original.
Now, to culminate, to put this in with all the other drama that's been happening with the similar subject. These are the same people who are complaining about their fantasy shows being like ruined because of said immersion and whatnot. It's like black people wouldn't have existed during that time. It's like, nigga, this place is not real. Okay, it's not real.
So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Because I had a conversation with a friend about this. Because, like I said, I don't give a flying fuck about the Hobbit.
One quick
the
example.
Lord.
One quick example. Is that for Game of Thrones? No, for Lord of the Rings. You know, people were complaining about certain characters being like certain skin color in this, you know, this media, and they're, you know, claiming that Tolkien wouldn't have wanted such things, and that destroys the original and whatnot. And people are just like, well, why don't we just ask the dude that like knows Tolkien and actually talk to Tolkien about these things and see what he says? Hey, Neil, how do you feel about that? And then, you know, Neil Gaiman says, oh no, I actually talked to him about it, and this is actually exactly what he wanted. You know, this was his original idea. It's actually amazing that, you know, at this point in time, we are able to accomplish such a thing. So, yeah, that's it. You know, once you hear that the original creator is like on board with this sort of like decision, just stop talking. No more dissertations.
So here's the thing.
None of that nonsense.
Here's the thing. Let's just say, for the sake of the argument, that what you just said is a lie. Let's just say it's a crock. It's just not true. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Let's just live in that world for a second. Even if that was the case, the only thing that I could see people being upset about with this whole race thing is this is supposed to take in like what 700 years before the actual Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, all that shit. This is a different time period. I feel as though this show might have to do something where they explain where the melanation went. Where did it go? Or is this, or are you going to explain it in a way like, hey guys, in the lore, all right, how many of you fear that interracial relationships are going to breed out the white majority into a white minority?
Yo,
that's what. Hey, say there's people out there, all right, that believe that. They think it's happening by 2040.
See here now, today, guys. What the woke moralists want you to do is actually submit to this diversity concept, but it's actually trying to get rid of our race. You see, the concept is actually called the Great Replacement Theory. It is I
didn't know Jason. I didn't know Jordan Peterson was up in here, bro. We'll see who cancels who, but no, like. Let's just like, are you going to do that? Or is there a civil war between the melanated elves? Like, because the fact that they're all gone, I think that might be a cause of concern. Like, damn, where do black people go?
Well, okay. Game of Thrones did have black people. Like, it showed, you know, a handful
I'm specifically talking about that Lord of the Rings shit. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch anything that's from that time period because it's just not my aesthetic. You give me some shit in the future in space, all in, let's go. You give me some shit that's like back in medieval times and with elves and fairy dust, I don't give a flying fuck, so I don't know. I'll tell you that right now.
They could easily just explain it away by being like, I mean, they were just off screen. Because there's so much of that like universe that was not shown in those movies because of the like initial like journey and whatnot, that it was just like yeah, they're like off screen or whatever, or you know, most of them were just like, man, I don't gotta deal with this Sauron shit, you know. And that would be that, you know. They could just explain it away that way. Me, I don't give a fuck. Like the concept of saying we took this finished series and decided we're gonna put out something new about the past and just expect people to just not accidentally retcon some like, you know, important shit is just beyond me. That's never gonna happen. All right. Sometimes some things do that properly, but when it comes to the fantasy genre and like TV shows and sometimes movies, that's usually not their concern. It's usually like, okay, how do we make this cool, you know? And that's it. And that's what I'm expecting, and that's what I'm gonna like go into it thinking.
Now, comment section, I want y'all to do me a favor. If y'all someone who what's it called, Rings of Power, right?
Yeah, Rings of Power.
Any of y'all who've ever watched Rings of Power, do they try to do the thing where they take this work and then try to weave current events into the show? No. Is that a thing?
They can't, because they actually like canonically don't have the rights to the was it the books? They only have the rights to the appendices or whatever. So like technically the show's not even canon. So like they can't do certain things.
Wait, so the show's not even canon? Why are we wasting our time? What the?
There we go. That's right. So when you go to Reddit user number 69, tell that dude, be like, yo, what are you even talking about? This is not even canon. Go do something else, man. Why are you writing this dissertation on how this has upset you because it's not true to the original, bro? Do you enjoy it? No? All right. Well then go do something that you do enjoy and put your time and effort towards that instead of being like, but I have to talk so much so that the creators will understand my frustration and make
Man,
something for me.
if y'all don't shut up and bite the bullet like we did with Dragon Ball GT, stop.
Hey. No GT slander here, sir. That show was good for what it was. For what it was.
We will agree to disagree because we will be here all fucking night.
There was a scene where Vegeta is driving his daughter in a car, and some dudes pull up and they're like, yo, ditch that old dude. Why don't you hop in the car with us? You know, what's good? And Vegeta just proceeds to almost accidentally like just murder these dudes.
Oh, that wasn't an accident. I know. See, that wasn't no goddamn accident.
Exactly. And he's just like,
that was a if they die, they die.
Exactly. She's just like, oh, sorry, my dad, is pretty protective of me. And it's like, yeah, that's funny. That's funny because that's exactly what he would do in that situation where these weird ass human dudes are like, yo, we're gonna ignore you, Prince of All Saiyans. We are here for your daughter. And he's like, excuse me?
We don't respect your crown.
He's like, do you know what I could do to you just by thinking? Nah, man. Like, you ain't gonna disrespect me out here. Just because I'm living amongst the humans doesn't mean I gotta take this shit. Yeah, and that's it. GT gave us cool moments like that. And then, as far as like the battles and whatnot, I mean, they did their best. All right. Look, they did their best. I like the heroes concept of the like manga ending or whatever, where like Goku and Vegeta basically become like time cops, and that's like a whole different universe. It's not the like original universe we're used to and all that shit. I'm fine with that.
But that ain't got nothing to do with GT though. Nah, man.
But it does.
The original run of GT, no. That's
not the
shit
show.
I'm talking about the show. It was strictly GT the show. That's what I'm talking about.
No, I'm talking about the manga. Just like, retconning it and being like, oh, manga wise, they just become like time cops or whatever, and this is a different universe. Don't worry. It's like, that's fine. That's exactly what you should do in that situation where it's like, well, we had some ideas and they weren't the best. It's like that allows you to make Super and then not have to worry about GT. Because there's a lot of shit. There's shit in GT that's like, all this shit over here in Super is kind of contradicting that right now. It's like, yo, what about that Oob guy?
No, so see, the thing is, Oob is actually at the end of Z, so Oob is a canon thing, and it's like, man, how strong is Oob if like we keep going this far? Oob could have gave the hands to Moro? Nah, bro.
See, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's like,
does Oob have mastered Ultra Instinct? Hold on, these are questions we gotta. Oh man, we're gonna get the one time. Man, we're gonna get the legacy of Oob. You better watch out.
That'd be fire. Look, that character was cool.
That's gonna forge into new territory. Cause that's gonna be all new stuff that you've never seen before, and you'll actually be shocked in a Dragon Ball game.
Oob was
Don't you want that?
They made Majub, which was that was a take. And I don't know. I thought the character was cool. It's just they just didn't do too much with him. He had that one moment, the Majub thing, and then he got kind of bodied, and then he came back later and was like, "Well, I'm back, guys."
He shot one big ki blast at Baby, and it hit him. It stopped him from throwing his thing, and that's it.
He also shot Candy Ray at Baby, and Baby like shot it back at him, and he turned into what was it, like chocolate or some shit, and then he was gone for the rest of the fucking arc until like the end, and he's like, oh, don't worry guys, I'm okay. And that was it. That was pretty much it. So it's like, okay, well, I wish you could have done more with the character, but like, it was a cool design, cool idea, kind of, and that was that. And he was definitely the darkest main character in a Dragon Ball series that didn't get forgotten until like the end of the series to be a cameo.
I mean, it could be worse. Look at
Here's to you, Upa. Shinnok. Oh, okay. Anyways,
I said Tien Shinhan, bro, not
Tien
Shinnok.
Shinhan. Oh, yeah, that's right. The creator could like just straight up hate him. So
Yo, Shinnok and Dragon Ball, he's getting folded, brother. He had to be a Dragon Ball villain, bro, because there's no way. But even if we push on past that, going above and beyond time, space, and the sea level, if any of you have this gaming device right here, known as the Nintendo Switcho, I hope you like farming. And I don't mean grinding EXP in a JRPG, even though they are getting their fair share of those coming in the next coming months. Why do they have all these farm simulator games coming out? Like, what's going on here?
Well, you see, once the apocalypse hits, we're gonna have to, gain some skills to rebuild society. And so Nintendo, as a company, decided we must teach the children right now how to rebuild our society. And so we will give them as many games as possible that will teach them how to do this in 30 FPS. Because, it's the Switch. Also, I I wish they would just make something else now because I'm tired of look, I watched the trailer for Bayonetta 3, right? I'm hyped for Bayonetta 3. October is gonna be a great month. But I watched the gameplay trailer and I'm watching it and I'm just like, damn, man, this looks like it probably came out on the PS3 and I'm sad and I have to eat this because this is how the final game is gonna come out.
Because you know what's crazy?
This console.
Had Sony bit the bullet and paid, we'd be getting it on the PS5, baby.
I'm telling you, man. Oh,
and it would platinum on the 5? Wow, it'd have been gorgeous. It'd have been a beautiful game.
By the way, all of you, don't fucking come for me and be like, "Oh, but you could play Stellar Blade." That's like Bayonetta on the PS5 right there. See, that's a replacement. No, it's not.
All right, so here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? Do y'all remember the Project Eve trailer? Yeah. You remember that, right?
I sure do.
Last year, around this time. And we were like, that game does look like a knockoff version of Bayonetta. Because we hadn't seen the lore yet.
Yep.
Now, as we're getting close, this looks more like Bayonetta Souls.
Kind of, yeah.
Because the enemies look like they're not as like crazy over the top as you see in Bayonetta. They look very stationary and have like attack patterns and things you got to analyze like that, as opposed to being like, all over the fucking map and stuff like that. But once again, we only seen a couple trailers, so I'm not going to say that's 100% etched in stone, but Project Eve does look good. But even then, what is like when you look at not Bayonetta and it looks crispy, and then you see Platinum Games is stuck on the Switch, you kind of start scratching your head because you're like, man, the limitations of this fucking hardware are really gonna hold and date this game.
This old hardware, like stop it, man.
Like the last No More Heroes game came out and it was like, is this the new game?
Bro, I am so happy that someone told me that it's getting re-released. It's getting re-released on like the better consoles, and so like they're gonna fix like frame rate problems and whatnot. Because look, at this point in time, I shouldn't be playing this game and then just go to an area and it's like the game
chugga
25 at best frames per second. It's just like, this is a brand new game that I bought for $60. Like, come on, man, please. Like
the little Switch that could. But because
I like that I like that game. I like the series. It kind of like went, Suda kind of went crazy at the very end of it. But the only problem is that there was a whole lot of like not that much shit going on as far as the world because of the limitations of the Switch and because of the fact that like the game could barely run with the 3 major areas that it has. I was like, nah, that sucks. Despite that, they made a good game with good gameplay and whatnot. Still don't like that whole skill tree thing, but whatever. That's me. I'm personal. And it sucks that they didn't take the opportunity to like allow you to play as like other characters who were like cool and like a part of the story and like could have just had movesets, you know, of some kind. One who literally was brought back to life just to like be on the sidelines, huh? So yeah, it was it's like seeing that and then watching the gameplay shit for Bayonetta 3, it's just like this console needs to go. All right. Like it's nice. It's nice that you have Smash, but they really like they spent all the money on Smash Ultimate and then they were like, yeah, we can't do anything better than this, bro. We literally don't have any money for any of the companies anymore. So
Because
here's
I know,
Bayonetta 3.
because I know they gave us Bayonetta, they're giving us Splatoon. I think Xenoblade's getting DLC, right?
Oh,
Xenoblade 3.
Splatoon is also the game that took all the money because that game also looks and functions like really well. Splatoon 3, they really put their foot in it and that game looks amazing. But like every other company that's not Nintendo, they're like, no, you don't. You guys get like $200 and that's it. All right, do your best. Bring
$200
your
is
best
food
friend.
stamps, fam.
Not food stamps.
But like when I was looking at that conference at Direct, I was like, okay, let's see what they got. And like, look, I'm gonna just name out some games for y'all. All right, Harvestella, Fae Farm, Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, Rune Factory 3, Special.
Bro, pause. Rune Factory 3, I saw that and I was just like, what like when did this game get created? Because it didn't look like it was made in the last 10 years.
Because then we also got Atelier Ryza 3, which is a farming RPG in and of itself.
Kind
But
of,
you
yeah.
know, it is what it is. And then technically you could talk about Oddballers, which is kind of like a farming sim, but it's like a dodgeball party game, but all of its levels occur on a farm. So I don't know if that
Yeah,
necessarily counts.
it's very weird.
It's like maybe it's like homicidal murderous Stardew Valley.
Okay, yeah. And that's kind of man, like
I
so
mean, at
many
least there's a
situations.
twist, right? Right?
It was like who like infiltrated Nintendo and was like, no, we need more farms. No, more farms. The
I mean, they
children need
also
to
announced that like
understand.
a couple factory simulators like Factorio are actually coming to the Switch now. So not
Jesus
only is
Christ.
it those 6, there's like 4 other games that are going to be ported over.
But it's okay because you can play the cloud version of Resident Evil 8 Village, Resident Evil 2 remake, and Resident Evil 3 remake.
On the cloud.
Bro,
Which makes
how why? I don't understand. Like what's the choice between like being like we're gonna put that in the cloud versus like making it just like a game you install on your console or
that's
whatever
a
the
good
regular way?
question. But this is
Like
Nintendo. This is Nintendo. They got controllers that don't work unless you got Nintendo Online Plus. This is also the same company that said, "Don't worry, guys, we're going to re-release GoldenEye."
oh, that's the other thing. GoldenEye getting released on the like 64 like console thing or whatever has
Mm-hmm.
now interfered with the GoldenEye remaster that was supposed to come out for like Xbox or whatever. And
Yep.
that's
Only
kind
one
of a dick
can.
move.
Yeah, because only one can get online, and it's going
Yeah.
to be the Switch version.
Which boy, if it's the same kind of online as the other games on those virtual consoles, is gonna be dog shit. Like
GG's.
Jesus. I don't get it. Like Nintendo Direct is something that's supposed to be like really really interesting. You know, people are like hyped for Breath of the Wild 2, and they're like, hey, here's Link doing Breath of the Wild things for 2 seconds, and then release date, which we know that game is going to come out and it's going to be like it's going to be fine. Um, it's probably going to be more of the same from the first game, which whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is the console that also has like the latest Monster Hunter game. Like, if it weren't for the PC, like version being like released recently, it would have been the only console to handle a Monster Hunter game, and like it does well. That game turned out pretty good, but it's like every time you see these games, you also see their limitations, and you're just like,
But you want to know something
why?
funny?
What?
So I don't know if you heard about how the remake is not even remake, the re-release is going to happen. But the Switch port is going to be made obviously in collaboration with Rare with some varying perks. And a couple of the perks are the online and what the Switch version likes to call a more faithful recreation by keeping the 4:3 aspect resolution. Meanwhile, the Xbox will have dual analog stick support and native 16:9 up to 4K Ultra HD.
You want to keep talking about the like disappointment in video games, or do you want to move on to people who are actually like listening to the folks out here who are playing video games and saying, we're gonna give you what you want and what you need.
Oh, so
enjoy.
Not Halo Infinite developer teams known as 343
not
Industries.
Halo Infinite. Jesus Christ. When I saw that, okay, I'll tell you right now. I was with Wildfang in person. We were talking about Halo, and like he said something to me about the co-op. He's like, "Yeah, man, the co-op is coming. At least there's that. That's coming soon." I was like, "Oh, when's that coming or whatever?" Right? And then 10 minutes later, I see on my phone that they just gave up on it.
They said
no.
Local multiplayer is not happening. The only way you're going to be able to do local multiplayer for your campaigning, is if you get 2 Xboxes and go online, which by the way, that's still not a feature in the game yet. That is also coming. But there is a glitch that you can get into and force split screen by having one of you load up your campaign. Can't make this shit up. You load up your campaign, and when it says loading map details, you then join someone who's idling in the menus of their game, and then it will kidnap you both into the game in split screen. And apparently it's pretty functional. So they can do it. They just don't fucking want to.
It's so weird. Like that's my thought process. It's like what's the problem with,
because we had this technology in 2001.
Yeah. Like, is there something like, in like the code of the game that makes split screen very hard to implement? Or is it just that like they think that this is the future and that
343's entire, like, the company's CEO, right? There's an interview, dead to rights. We got her. Ladies and gentlemen, we got her. She said, yeah, we remember when we launched Halo 5 Guardians and we didn't have local multiplayer split screen co-op. And we remember the backlash. And we felt as though learning from that it's very anti-community to not do that. So I promise you, every future installment of Halo will have it at some point or at launch. Cap. She capped. And if you can't trust the CEO, how can you trust the company? Houseway. You can't. I mean, you should never trust any company ever. That's just number one. But number two, they didn't even go 4 years without this being a big lie. And this is one of the simple bells and whistles to put onto your game. Big Sag.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like what is their thought process? Because like, selling a Halo game in 2022 is all about, depending on the nostalgia of people who played the older games and like really, really enjoyed the older games. So, why would you not include some of the features that would feed their nostalgia, like split screen? That's one of the main things that people remember in their like Halo experience. Every time they talk about Halo, they talk about being with their friends.
And you want to know what their defense is? You know what their defense is? If you want to play the old games, buy the Master Chief Collection.
So you don't want to make money. Oh, that's cool. That's fine.
I mean, they didn't want to make content for like 7 months, my boy.
Exactly. That's fine. I won't support this. Maybe you'll learn a lesson or something, or maybe someone else will make a success.
Remember how back in Halo 3 you wanted to have purple armor, or hell, in Halo 2 you wanted to have purple armor and an orange armband? You just toggled the colors. Now you got to buy custom made color swatches, and if you want red and black and they only have red and pink available, get fucked. You lose. But everyone's not a loser, ladies and gentlemen. I know Halo Infinite's down bad right now, but we have a couple of games that are certified sure to be bangers in Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. Street Fighter 6 has learned a very valuable lesson from Street Fighter 5. Make sure you launch a based roster that's a healthy size and has your fucking originals. The Road fucking Warriors. Be a damn shame if you had to wait for season fucking 4 to get some of the OGs. It's not a good look. Just put them in the fucking game. And hey, they did that.
Hey, y'all like Third Strike though, right? Hey, yeah, you know, new characters are pretty good.
No, here's the thing. With Third Strike, that turned off a lot of people back then.
Yeah,
a lot of people retroactively came back to loving that game. But a lot of people at launch were like, where the fuck is this character? Where's that character? What the fuck is this? This shit ass. I'm going back to 2. And there are some people, believe it or not, especially now, seeing their characters return is kind of a big fucking deal. So much so, there are some games, they bring back characters who are nowhere near involved in the lore at all anymore, just to bring back their legacy fighters. And that's okay too. I personally don't think you need to have every character on the roster play a huge part in the story, provided, you know, they were characters, you know, in previous installments. But, you know, whatever. I mean, what the fuck did Bo Raicho do in MKX?
Look, he was there for a couple of seconds, all right?
He was there to get stomped out. He got stomped out in the scene. That is the only thing that man did.
Yo, what did Fujin do in MK11 though? Yeah, see, come on, man. We can do that. But like Raicho deserved to be in MKX, and he unfortunately was put in way too late. I mean, he helps the demographic. But like fucking it's so weird because like we're getting to that point with these fighting games where there are too many memorable characters for them to like release,
put them all in every time,
right? And that's understandable. With Street Fighter 6, they're focusing on the World Warriors right now. They're not even focusing on the characters who have been confirmed, who would probably get net them the biggest amount of like hype. Like right now, Tokyo Game Show.
I think they're saving that in the pocket though. Like I think they're trying to get that like down the stretch, closer to release, and then the hype drums up again. Because I mean,
let me tell you right now,
if the game came out like in a month and they're like Ken Masters,
that game is done. The game is done, dude. Like there's I have no doubt in my mind that the game is finished and maybe just has some like things
balance
that they're
tweaks.
waiting. Yeah, some balance tweaks, some like, you know, maybe some crossplay things they want to make sure are going to be stable and whatnot. And so they're basically just waiting on the beta to give them more things to do to make sure the game is good for a launch. Now Tokyo Game Show is going on right now, and today they announced 4 characters, man. Ken, Dhalsim, Honda, and Blanca. Blanca is looking kind of weird, but like it's also like with the new and with the RE engine, they're like just make him look like a troll or a gremlin or whatever, and it's fine. You'll get used to it, you know. Ruben Langford, Langford is not doing Ken this time, but Ken looks really dope, and all those weird like conspiracy theories about Ken being divorced and shit. It got solved by the website listing a simple thing. Ken has allegations against him that he has been smuggling drugs. And so he's laying low right now. So he's not around his family and shit because he's like bum mode because he's trying to like avoid a case.
Got to clear his name, brother.
That's wild, but it's also interesting. It's probably the most interesting they've made Ken's story in a while. So Dhalsim is there. Dhalsim seems like he's more influenced on the Street Fighter 5 design, and same with Honda. And Dhalsim is gonna be a problem, bro. Dhalsim is gonna be a problem, bro. The way the system works and the fact that they gave him his straight fireball and his float, and he can angle his fireball. Like it may just be an EX thing, but it showed him doing an EX fireball out of float, and it angled down. It was basically a Akuma air fireball, and it was like, you don't understand, or maybe you guys do.
And y'all just said we don't care.
Exactly, which is amazing. Please go with that concept, because that concept is great. I mean, look at DNF Duel. That game is fun. It just sucks that it only has like one system. You know what I mean? So if it had more, the game would be doing a lot better than what it's doing now. And so Street Fighter 6 is taking that and they're running with it, because they also introduce all these like amazing modes that are going to be in it that are definitely just casual friendly. You know, there's like extreme mode where like you could be playing in your match and a fucking bull will like ram through your character or whatever, and you can get comboed, you know, because of that and shit like that.
Tell them about the NBA 2K my part.
Hell yes, bro. Virtual Quest is here. All right. So they introduced I forget the name. I think it's like World Tour. Where you create a character and like it has like full customization. They literally had sliders for how much you want to mix the colors on, like two-toning colors on someone's hair. All right, bro. They showed a character that was just Akuma with a fade. Like it was fucking great. Like they showed all these customization options. You make your character goes in the city. They learn moves. Maybe they pick a playstyle. Like maybe it's like Soul Calibur 3, where you pick a like playstyle, and maybe you'll have like basic playstyle and learn moves around the way, or you'll have like Soul of Ken, Soul of Ryu, Soul of, you know, whatever. And they show that you don't only use that in battles with the like random people that you see in the street. You can also just use it in the street and just like move around. Like somebody was using spinning bird kick to move from like building to building and shit.
But did you see the beat 'em up mode?
Oh my god!
Amazing. Also, there's something that I think cannot be over. It can't be overstated. You can't state it enough. There was a mode. It was in the tuck. I don't even know if people really paid attention to it like that. But when you're in the battle lounge, little lobby, and you're queuing up for rank matches.
First off, arcade cabinets for the rank matches. This is probably the best implementation that we've seen of the like arcade cabinet like style, where it's like it's not cheapy characters walking into a like a fake world and like, oh I'm playing on the thing. It's like full character walks in, he's like, yo, let's do a rank match. I'm here. Right. And that goes into your thing that you're talking about, where you have a section where you could just play classic games.
Yeah. Like while you're waiting, you could be playing arcade ladder run of Street Fighter 2.
They showed Street Fighter 2. Captain Commando screen was there. Final Fight was there. Like if those are like definitely the games you're gonna have in your repertoire, because I didn't like screenshot the fucking actual selection screen of the games, but if those are games that you're going to be able to play while you're like fucking around or just because you want to, this is going to be an amazing game. And it's going to be huge. It's probably going to be like 50 plus megs, or 50 plus gigs, or
I'll say 50 megs. I say, what is the Sega Dreamcast? Yo, imagine a Dreamcast game trying to do all this. No, man, it would explode.
Yo,
you hear I'm telling you, man, cooked. But I'm literally looking like I'm probably gonna be a Street Fighter 6 guy. I don't know if I'll make content for the game, but it's probably a game I'll have in the tuck. Now, there is another game that is also coming out that is also a number above 5 that is coming out in the FGC. Now, I personally, not a Tekken guy, not a 3D fighter guy, but Tekken 8 does look delicioso for those people who are into that. And I know you are one of them, so I'm gonna let you. You got all the Tekken 8. You got it. This is all you.
So it's weird that we got new tactics at Evo, and then we got the teaser that was like, get ready, and it was like, what is this mystery game that they randomly during the Sony event actually showed us a trailer for Tekken 8. It could be full gameplay. It looks like it's full gameplay, but it also looks like it could be like, gameplay mixed in with some CGI, stuff for dramatics, for a dramatic, presentation. But Tekken 8 showed Jin, versus Kazuya. So you already know that the story is just moving directly on from Tekken 7. It's like, okay, whatever the fuck happened to Heihachi, maybe he's dead, maybe he's not. That's cool. But Heihachi versus Kazuya, that's old news now. Now it's Jin versus Kazuya, and Jin is the voice of reason here. He's like, bro, we are too powerful, man. It's like we don't need to exist out here, and you're out here trying to destroy the world, do all this crazy stuff. Nah, man, I'm not gonna let you do that. I got power too, so I'm gonna beat you up, Dad. And he's like, bro, you don't understand what this power does. And then they start fighting, man. It's great. Like it looks amazing. You see things that are like recognizable from the characters. Like bro, the engine looks like it's already like they've tested it well enough to make sure that the game is going to flow pretty well. Unfortunately, they only showed those two characters, but they showed us enough to show that they've got a lot of progress in the game, and maybe we saw full gameplay. And if it was, it's going to be absolutely insane trying to play this game on anything other than a PS5 or Xbox Series X or a PC, because that shit was max settings. It was like when they showed the Street Fighter 5 trailers and it was all PC max settings. That's what it really looked like here. And I honestly felt like this is not PC max settings. This is just base settings on console, which is super exciting for the next step in games, because people have been just feeling like shit. We're seeing all these games that are just kind of like meh, they're kind of boring, they're kind of whatever, and you see Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, which show that they're really pushing these new consoles to their limits right now, and it's working out really well. Now it feels like we're actually in the next generation of games, and that we're gonna get some like really, really good shit. Tekken, they haven't announced any like modes or any, like anything like that, like any concrete stuff. But just that trailer showing these two characters fighting each other was enough for people to be like, yes, I'm in. I want it. Like I have to have the game right now, because it just looks good. Like it's just good content. It was a great trailer. And on top of everything, so on top of everything, they're not going to give us the Tekken 7 treatment. All right. This is not going to come out in arcades and then be in arcades for like 5 years.
That's honestly the one point that I had. See, you on top of it, man.
Like they're not gonna like show us this and then be like, all right, well, play it in 10 years. Like none of that shit. It looks like they understand their mistake with Tekken 7, and maybe there's an arcade release, but the console release is what they're gonna focus on, and that in this era makes a lot more sense, because unfortunately the arcade scene is not as strong as the console.
Because if I remember right, the arcades had it for almost 2.5 years before you guys got Tekken 7, right?
Longer than that, because it was Tekken 7 Vanilla, and then Tekken 7 Faded Retribution, which was then in arcades for like another like year and a half, 2 years. And it got to a point where like they brought arcade setups to Evo for people to be able to like even play the game, and people played tournaments on arcade setups before Faded Retribution finally came out on console. Like, you saw years worth of footage of this fucking game that looks like it's pretty much done, and they didn't even have a release date for you. And then they announced a new version of the game before you even had a version that you could play. So they're never going to do that to these people again. They're going to release a console version before they even think about, Tekken 8, broken bond, or, some crazy shit like that, right? So
Tekken 8 Unchained.
Like, what is it? Tekken 5 had there's Tekken 5 Vanilla, and then there's Tekken 5 DR, which DR came out and was like mostly a console, or not a console, arcade release that came out on PS3. And then Tekken 6, there was Tekken 6 Vanilla, which had some arcade stuff or whatever, but then like the main arcade version was Tekken 6 BR, which
what was the Tekken game that had like a stamina system that was free to play?
That was Tekken Revolution. Come on, man.
Okay, hey, look, I forgot I just forgot what it's called.
That was a test. It was a test, but it gave us Eliza, so at least there's that. But what is it? Tekken 6 BR was weird because like I think Tekken 6 BR was only on PSP and arcade, so I don't think there was like a patch for like vanilla Tekken 6 that like gave it the BR update. It was like you had to play the PSP version or play in arcades. But unluckily, that game came out and then Tekken 7 was announced and shown and all that. But Tekken 7 then came out in arcades and I just went over all that shit. So God, Tekken 8, like just showing two characters fighting each other is like showing that there's so many people there who understand that this is all the players need to see to have faith in the developer to like care about them. Tekken 7 came out on console with all kinds of like content for people, but you had the story mode, which like cool, it was there, but you were a journalist who was like, I'm gonna interview people so I can get my moment to try and stab Jin Kazama after hearing that he has superpowers. Like, come on now. Nobody would believe that. You think regular people are seeing Kazuya shooting laser beams and they're like, now I'll get my revenge? Like, no.
I'm not gonna lie, the anime was wild about that. Like they made it seem like everybody else like had like regular degular martial arts training, except for Paul. He was the only other person, but like everybody else was like doing this crazy, like my man was throwing out electrics and then threw out like a sentinel beam, and they were like, that was a good jab. Yeah, right hook.
Bro, look, so the Netflix show Tekken Bloodlines was really good. I've seen some things of people like shitting on it for some reason because I don't know what people want from this stuff. That thing was perfect because it actually followed the lore to a T and like included some things that maybe aren't too true. Like Leroy maybe shouldn't have been there, but like with his inclusion in Tekken 7, it's kind of implied that he was around that time. It's just that like he was off screen or whatever. They just kind of like.
All right, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I know he was wearing the glasses. I know he's supposed to be blind, but there were moments where he didn't act blind.
Yeah.
At all.
Did not understand.
Because it's a part where he was thrown into the air and he looked at a guy and I was like, you're in the air. Like, can you see him?
Yeah, I was like, what's going on here? Because Leroy's story is that he gets blinded like later or whatever. But at that point, it was like, no, all that shit happened and he's here for revenge. And I'm like, maybe that's supposed to happen later, but I'll allow it. Like it's fine. If they want to do it that way, that's fine. I can ignore that. Because Leroy is not like integral part of the story. He's literally a guy who just he's another guy who wants revenge against the Mishimas for whatever. Instead, this time it's Heihachi and not Kazuya. Whatever, cool. Everything else as far as the lore went was perfect. Even the stuff about Paul and about how like lore-wise, Paul actually I think
he was the one that gave hands to form one Orgu, right?
To form one ogre, and also Paul should have won Tekken 2 because like he got very close. Like he basically beat Kazuya, and then Kazuya like went devil form, and like everything went off the rails. And so Paul technically should have won, but like whenever he tries to like convince people of that, they're like, "Nah, man, I saw Kazuya versus Heihachi, bro. Come on, you don't have to lie to me like that. Come on, we know you're just some American guy. Get out of here. All right, whatever, right?" And the show kind of explores the fact that this dude is like very godlike, but he gets downplayed a lot. And so I like that the anime was like,
then he loses to King Jr., King 2.0.
Yeah, that was fucking weird. Also, shout outs to them including that because there are so many things in the Tekken lore that is just not really like advertised well enough. Like, the king that you see now is not the original king from like.
And
Tekken
Armored King is also not that guy.
Armor King is also not the same Armor King, and that lore is fucking absolutely insane. It's literally like the original Armor King was killed by Marduk, and that's where Marduk's like arc with King is in the first place. And Marduk sees Armor King in the Tekken 6 era, and it's like, what the hell? I killed you. What is this? And like this new Armor King who does not talk shows them like a picture, and it's basically like, I'm his twin brother. who also wears this mask. And so between that and like the original king, he died. I believe it's the way that it was in the show. Like he got attacked by ogre, he was killed, whatever. But like random characters who like died off screen, where it's just like they could just be like, well, ogre killed them. Um, he died, and then this new king took over, and he was like trying to like build an orphanage and all that stuff. I don't remember if he had any connection to the original king. I don't think he did. I think maybe Armor King was the connection, but Kuma also is not the same. The original Kuma died, and the Kuma that you see moving from like Tekken maybe 3 on is like Kuma 2. Yeah, everything else was, June being killed by ogre. That's like super important, and really great that they showed that off. Um, Everything else is fine. I think, what was it? uh, Anna wasn't in the anime, which was surprising because Nina was there, but and Nina didn't really seem to have too much of a connection to the Mishima stuff yet, even though, I mean, I believe she was an assassin for Mishima Corporation at the time. But yeah, that's fine. Nina's more tied to, I think, Kazuya first and then Jin later. So, like, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, that's what a rendition of a fighting game should be. Focus on the lore and then just have cool shit happen. Xiao Yu like was perfect. They show her off as like a little girl kind of, and then when she's fighting and whatnot, it's like no, she knows what's going on. She knows this is serious shit. Like you guys need to relax. She's a martial artist.
Her high school girl. Oh my god, hokey dokey, and her Fortnite emotes are just mind games.
Exactly.
And hey, she was just like, yeah, like, bro, these are mind games, oh boy.
Yeah.
She's very aware.
Jin's story was perfect. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's like he's like, yeah, I've been living with my mom, and then this thing killed her. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And then he gets trained in Mishima style, and he's like, yeah, all right, cool. Now I'm gonna hunt that thing and kill it. And it's like, oh, you guys have ulterior. What the hell is wrong with you guys? Whatever. So then by the time he kills Ogre, he's like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this whole Mishima bullshit or whatever. I'm a leave. I'm gonna like unlearn all this stuff and learn my own thing. And so if that gets to season 2, it's going to be about Jin learning karate. So that's, godlike. And then you can include other characters who can be like jobbers, however you want. Surprised that Law wasn't there, but whatever. Even like Forrest.
It's weird because Marshall was in the tournament. He got a tournament card.
Yeah.
So it was like, did he fight someone and then Paul just never talked to him? I mean, that's weird.
That was confusing, but that's fine. They'll clean it up in post. You know what I mean? So
in season 2,
mm-hmm.
He no called, no showed, so that's why his card was destroyed without a fight. My man just was like, "Oh, I had something to take care of, y'all. My bad. Exactly. I'll get it on the next one." And speaking of getting things on the next one, you got Strive and Cross Tag Battle coming to the Game Pass. And but I believe it's the Xbox. Yeah, I believe it's the Xbox Game Pass.
Yes.
Or is it also going to be on the PC part of Game Pass as well?
I don't know about that yet.
Because I know like fighting games were very big exclusives on PS4 and PS5 for a while. So I'm pretty sure they want to see the sales of this one. So I don't know if it'll be on the PC Game Pass. It might sneak up on me, but these are also brand new releases. So not brand new isn't the games are brand new, but Strive isn't even into the season 2 of its season pass. Which, funny enough, are they?
Yes. Bridget is the first season 2 character.
I thought she was the last season 1 character, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, that's Testament.
Damn, I'm mixed. GG's. But I have a tweet for you here.
Okay.
2027. Tekken 8 is thriving. Street Fighter 6 is considered the best Street Fighter we've ever gotten. And Killer Instinct gets a new game announced. Marvel 2 even gets ported. It's the VGA Awards. A trailer appears. Scorpion and Sub-Zero are fighting across a mountaintop as they do with every MK announcement. Text appears. Scorpion and Sub-Zero join multiverses this fall.
I'm upset because that probably is the future. Besides the Marvel 2 part, what the hell is wrong with you guys, man? Like, stop asking for them to redo Marvel 2. Ask them to give you a new game, please. Like, Disney is not convinced that the Marvel characters need to be used for another versus game. Like, why don't you convince them? Show them, please.
You gotta make CVS 3 and show that can be a big game first.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I mean, I'm not even gonna say Tatsunoko. That the licensing headache that would be has got to be just
that's the problem. But like other anime studio, Studio Trigger versus.
No, I'm down. I'm down. Capcom versus Trigger.
Capcom versus anime. I don't care, honestly. Like, you could just have random anime characters in the game. I'll be fine with that. Oh my god, now I'm remembering there was some fighting game that had some like anime character that was like, it was a random guest character sort of thing, and it was like a 2D fighting game, and I'm not thinking of Ruby, but it was like something where it was like this. It's really interesting to see how they've taken this anime character and put them in this fighting game, and it's working too well. But
that I do not. I couldn't tell you that one.
Like, it was something maybe after TVC. Maybe it was one of those games like Blaze Strangers or some shit like that. That was like, in between, that was like good-ish, but it wasn't good enough, that sort of thing. But anywho, yeah, fucking like everything is good, man. These games getting announcements, it's just up from here. All right, it's good that the devs care and that they're putting their time and effort into like making games that people are gonna love. Fucking it's weird that cross tag was announced for Xbox so late, because that
are people still pushing that game though.
Roll back netcode.
I remember when Akira randomly showed up in Dengeki Bunko.
That might be what I was thinking of.
Because I remember the reverse happening.
That might be what I was thinking of. I think that's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
The reverse. An anime game that had like a fighting game character.
Unless you're talking about, because technically this is also the reverse, when Iori just showed up in Million Arthur for no reason.
That still baffles me, bro. But no. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Now is the best time for a CVS 3 to happen, because KOF 15 has like such a great roster of characters and cool characters that they could like put in a versus game. And Capcom is Capcom, bro. Like put the Street Fighter characters and then like just roll a roulette wheel on who else you want to include. You know what I mean? Like, just roll the roulette wheel.
Oh my god, I forgot Ryu and Chun-Li are in the Power Rangers game.
Yeah, I always feel bad about that game, because like I'm never gonna put the time it deserves, I guess, because it's too much money, man. It cost me like $40 to buy that game and play it, and to do what? Play online. I don't got that kind of time anymore, man.
Yeah, that 9 to 5 life kind of brutal.
Bro, I bought the full edition of fucking Grand Blue for PC, and then now
they done shucky ducky quack quack done it now.
What?
Over here on my Twitter feed, someone already did the AI thing, but the opposite. It's already happened.
Oh my god!
Someone has turned the original Disney animation into a dark-skinned vixen.
And now the race wars begin.
Oh my god, this is what kicks it off. Choose your character.
God,
Dark Ariel.
Do you remember the episode of Rick and Morty with Unity or whatever, where you know, Summer was like, no, these were real people. And she's like, yeah, these are kind of bad people. You know, they were having like a race war and stuff. And then like Unity got too drunk. And so the people got unassimilated. And it was just like, it's like, hey, he's like, the cone nipple people will always be superior. And they started going crazy. And they were looking at Summer and Morty, and they're like, hey, what kind of nipples do you guys have? Hey. And they're like, we don't have any of those. They're like, these guys are weird and have no nipples. Let's kill them. Like that's what I think of when these people are going crazy online about all this like wild shit that really doesn't amount to anything. It's like, oh, Ariel's black, and it's like, okay, that's cool. I mean, she's light skinned, so like, you know, you don't have to get too upset about all this crazy shit. It doesn't matter. We don't care about Ariel being light skinned or whatever. Um, I don't know why you care, but
Pe-
hey, maybe
People,
don't redo the movie or do it for yourself. I don't know. But it's kind of the racism is weird, you know? We never really talk about how weird racist people are because of like what has to go through their brain for some of the shit that they really think about. Where it's like this guy legitimately wants to you know, he's upset that one character in his fantasy show is black, and it's like, and he's like, now I'm gonna redo the entire show to fix this wrong. And it's like, bro, if you have these skills, why don't you just put it towards something that's going to make you a lot more money than whatever the fuck this is? And also, if you find people who are paying for this, maybe like report them to the police or something, because you know, I just don't think that those people are just gonna not do some wild shit like the QAnon guy who killed his wife and hospitalized one of his daughters because of QAnon shit. You know what I mean? Like,
mhm.
it's like we always get one step, you know, towards some dumb shit like that happening, and then you hear the news story, and then people have to be like, you know, you see like Ben Shapiro being like, the media is not talking about this, blah, 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 because it's like you then have to be the person who's like, yeah, this has only happened like 6 times, so you know, in the broad scheme of things, it's not happening too much. It sucks, but this is just the new normal.
That's true.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's just so weird, man. These people doing all this. It's like, yo, we got Tekken 8 coming out, man. I don't, like, you really got to worry about this right now. Like, you could make your own character in Street Fighter and just run around. You don't have to play online at all. You can just run around and beat up on random NPC characters and maybe some of the actual Street Fighter characters and whatnot, and have a good ass time. And you're worried about the color of Ariel in this reboot or remake or whatever that's probably going to be like, okay, come on, man. Like, put your time towards something else, man.
Be constructive. Do something for yourself. Don't be like Ezra Miller.
Yo, like, what is going on with DC? Like, these people, I, I don't understand. They don't know how they're gonna fix their shit, so they're just like, we have to do something. And so I remember seeing something that was basically them saying like, either Ezra Miller has to apologize or we're just not going to release the movie or whatever. And then like a day later Ezra Miller comes out, I'm sorry everybody. That wasn't me. You know, it wasn't me who was doing all that crazy stuff. I was having some mental health issues, and I'm seeing a professional now, and
And
I'm
then
going
he
to be
went
the
right
real me
back to
now.
it. Then he
Yeah.
went right back to it immediately.
It's just like, what the fuck is going on? All that to like release a movie. It's like, you know, you could just release the movie and say this person's problematic or whatever. But here's the movie. Hope you guys enjoy it. Anyways, they're not going to be the Flash anymore. You know why? You know why? And then just move on from there, because like the people get so weird about like recasting, you know, actors, but between Terrence Howard and Edward Norton, you can see that it's fine. People will live with it. People will be all right with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Edward Norton was being Edward Norton. He was being an ass. There were creative differences or whatever between him and I guess what's his face, Joss Whedon, for Avengers, and so they're like, yeah, you're out. Mark Ruffalo will be here. It's like, huh? Mark who? And we saw the movie, and it worked. It was fine. What is it? Disney had D23 happen, and there's some like announcements of some things that are coming out. Thunderbolts, they announced like the team that's going to be in Thunderbolts, and it's basically all the new characters that are announced in all these shows. Yelena, fucking U.S. Agent, Captain America, Kid, just all the characters that are announced in all these things that have come out recently. They're going to be a part of it, and someone pointed out that Thunderbolt Ross is not going to be there's not most likely not going to be a part of it because the actor who played him is like he passed away. So
did not know that.
It's weird that like the concept is not why don't we just get someone else to play the character, especially because like now would be the best time because the last movie that he was a part of in the MCU, it was so long ago that you can really just cast a different old white dude or whatever, and then say this is him, and then give him the powers and all that shit, and let him be like a part of the team. You don't have to do this thing where it's like, oh well, he's gone, so we shouldn't dare recast the character. It's like no, like this movie is for entertainment, all right? People are not going to be like, no, but he doesn't look the same anymore. How can I watch this? Like those people are not going to be okay regardless, and we shouldn't cater to them, all right? If they're going that crazy over like a recasting. So, what is it? Other things that got announced. There's a trailer for a Secret Invasion, which I forgot is going to be a TV show.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's just going to be a fucking Nick Fury like focused TV show, which seems like it'll be good, but it's also kind of like I don't know. Like I think it'll be good.
I feel like Secret War is something that should be like, I don't know. I just feel like they're gonna try to do that thing where it's only like 6 or 7 episodes, and I just feel like that needs more time. That's a big thing.
Yeah, Secret Invasion is a big thing. And like Secret Invasion is basically like they're gonna go with the regular story, which is that, we had some good scrolls that you guys saw, but there's some bad ones who are here. And we need to tread softly because they're already here and we don't know who is a scroll and who is not. And one of the best scenes in the trailer was that there's a guy played by an actor who I think is like fairly known. I don't remember his name, but like there's a scene where like they introduced this new guy who I guess is some agent who's going to be like partnered up with Nick Fury in this investigation, right? And that dude is like obviously he did something where it's like somebody was like, yo, don't go over there and talk to this man already. We don't know if he's a scroll or not. You about to expose us. And he's just like, nah, man, I got it. Don't worry. And he goes to meet this guy at like a restaurant. Obviously the guy's rich, so he rented out the restaurant. It's just him and his security detail. And so, the agent like looks at him and he says some wild shit. He's like, hey, see here, sir. And then he like stands up, and then dude just kind of like looks up, and his whole security stands up and turns into him. And like, no, we're all scrolls, and we're gonna jump you. So you better sit down, sir. And it's just like,
yeah, sit down and come correct.
It's like that kind of moment is dope. I think that'll be great for the show, but it seems like they're going to focus more on the espionage parts of Secret Invasion and not like the scrolly parts and like, the more like hero related parts. It's going to be mostly Nick Fury. I could be wrong, but based on the trailer, they're going to focus on like Nick Fury's part of it. And that kind of sucks because Secret Invasion has like a lot of other shit happening in it. Hawkeye is Ronin by that point. What is it? There's like a scroll that shows up, and he's like, "Oh my god, Mockingjay! Oh my god, my wife! I missed you," and yada yada, and like he's like rolling around with her for the longest time, and then someone shows up with like a ray or something that's like, "This will show us who's a scroll and who's not," and then they shoot the ray, and then like he looks over his wife and she turns green. He's like, "You bitch," and like loses his shit, and like shit like that is probably
lied to me,
right? Shit like that is probably not going to happen in this TV show. Like as soon as I realize it's a TV show, shit like that is probably not going to happen. It's probably going to be on a lower scale than what Secret Invasion
But
actually
imagine if
is.
it did. This has been my wife of 30 years. Come on, you think I wouldn't know my wife? Do, 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 do. Seems you don't.
Right? Fucking what is it? Linda Cardellini just all of a sudden turns green. He's like, "How dare you?" You know, like some nonsense like that happens.
Hey man, they got to do what they got to do. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to a couple of things. Like as of right now, I got a Harley Quinn episode I got to watch because it's Thursday after all. So I got to turn that on after this. Rick and Morty season 6 is like going on episode 3, and
Yeah.
the first episode was second episode was pretty good. We'll see what the rest of the season has to offer.
I like that the first episode acknowledged a lot of the like things that weird redditors like will talk about, like, oh, did you guys know that the Jerry that's there is actually not the real Jerry from whatever, because in this episode, and they're just like, yeah, actually you're right, you know what, let's just throw in a
None of
joke
us
about
are
that.
in the same. Not a single one of us is from the same universe as any other of us, which
Yep.
is an interesting dynamic to have.
I like that they just like acknowledge that, and then they're like, okay, anyways, let's just keep going. Like we don't have to do all that multiversal like bullshit anymore. So the people have all these weird theories and shit of like who belongs to this universe and whatnot. It's just like, yeah, they don't belong. None of them belong here. So let's just move on. We like the characters regardless. So
Any what it is.
mm,
But anything you want to close us out on? You want to break down the house?
mm. uh, let's see. If you go on Twitter, you see somebody saying some wild shit, you don't always have to engage. Okay? You don't always have to engage, because I know you're gonna see some of the crazy racist people. You might see, this story about R. Kelly and how like, they're trying to frame it like, oh, R. Kelly got convicted for, several CP and sex abuse charges, but he was acquitted on one of the CP charges. And you might see some people going nuts. Why did they do that for that charge? It's like, who cares? He's going to jail. That's all that matters. You don't need to argue with people about that. And you definitely don't need to argue with anyone who's defending R. Kelly at this point in time.
Oh no! Don't do
Uh,
that.
also, as a Challenge fan, I gotta say, Challenge USA ended, right? Season finale came out, and boy, that is kind of embarrassing. It seems like there's a lot of like behind the scenes shit that we didn't see, but there was some embarrassing shit that happened there. And immediately after that season aired, they announced the new regular season, which is like, what does retirement mean to people these days? Because Johnny Bananas, one of the
Nah, Johnny Bananas.
Johnny Bananas announced his retirement a couple of years ago. He won a season, and then he was like, I'm retiring. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm old, whatever. I'm getting like TV show deals and all these other things, so I'm gonna be media guy now. The challenge is behind me. I'll like, have a podcast where I talk to other like members about the show and stuff and like see what's up with that, but I'm not going to be on the show anymore. Maybe I'll be in an All Stars episode because that's where all my friends are going to be at, and it'd be cool to hang out with them and shit like that. And then all of a sudden, this new season drops, and he's like, "It's me, guys, Johnny Bananas. I'm back on the series." And I'm like, "Bro, it's been like 3 seasons. Like you've been retired for only 3 seasons." And he's like, "Nah, I'm back. It's me. I'm here again.
I
I'll
never
beat up
left.
everybody." Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is going on? So there's that. As a fan, we're here to see it. All right, it's gonna be good shit regardless. It's like day ones or whatever, or like ride or dies is what it's called. Basically, everybody gets to like choose who their partner is gonna be, and I'm like seeing this list of like some of the new people, and it's like this person clearly chose some random like Instagram model that they were talking to and was like, "Do you want to come on this series where we might be like we might almost die? All right, we might be like up in a mountain, hiking up there in the cold snow doing like a Sudoku puzzle, but don't worry, do it with me, man. It's gonna be a great experience." Like they really thought, yeah, this is the person that I want to bring with me to be my partner in this series. Where if they leave, I'm screwed. I have to leave too.
Nah, man, stay, sit right there forever.
Like it's mind-boggling what people will do just to get a crumb of like some clout. So get like an appearance fee or whatever. Like
Hey,
I don't know about
that
you.
one dude charges 10 grand for appearance fees, and the only thing he does is look like Lil Durk. I don't
Are
know
you
if you heard about
serious?
that. Yeah, the
I've
dude
not heard of this.
so yeah, there's a dude who looks like almost like a carbon copy of Lil Durk. He just doesn't have the tattoos, and he charges people. Now I don't know if he charges it pretending to be Durk or if he tells them, "Hey man, I'm fake Durk," but like they don't know that on social media. It's a picture. You know what I'm saying? You can say I'm in the stew with your mans. Don't say Little Durk. Just stay with your mans and let the people connect the dots. But hey, it's been working for him.
I mean, if it's getting him the bag, it's getting him the bag. But that's gonna catch up. That's gonna catch up to that man for sure. It's definitely gonna catch up to him because, like, Lil Durk is not the type of dude who's just gonna kind of like let that rock. He'll probably like eventually that'll annoy him enough, and he'll be like, "Yo, you better stop that shit, or I'm gonna pull up."
All right, coming through. But yeah, I think the other thing that I do have on my list of things to do is to watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it, and also I recently went back to like try and play Cyberpunk, and um, that game is that game is good, but also fucking rough to play, man. Some of the bugs are like it's really jarring when you're playing that game, and there's some just jank shit that just happens in front of you. You're just like, I don't know if I want to like dedicate my time to this anymore. But Edge Runners is like the perfect medium for that universe because it takes place in the same universe. So like all the like lore that about Cyberpunk from the game just helps you understand this like story that's I don't think it's like directly connected to like the main story in the game, but it's like characters in that universe. So like the cool shit that you see in the games is just shown off in this series, and it's taken to the umph degree because it's animated and not that video game with its graphics. So I've heard good things. So the things I've seen so far look really interesting, and like it's deep in the lore for the game. So the game in the tabletop series. So it's really cool. I got to watch it too. But I'm also watching a plethora of things like dating related, where you and your sibling show up, and your sibling is basically your wingman, and you're their wingman or whatever on this dating show. Which take that how you want it. Also, new part of JoJo's is out. Well, the new section of episodes for part 6 is out. So I gotta watch that. Bee and Puppy Cat has like a new like reboot series that's on Netflix. It's good. I'm like
I
slowly
don't
working my
even
way
know
through
what
that.
that is.
It's really cute, like animated stuff. It was like a Frederator cartoon before Frederator went down. So it's got like a really nice like aesthetic to it. Like visually it's very very nice and colorful. And they had a lot of like really good voice actors for the characters and stuff. Like Ashley Birch voices B. And it's got like a really really like nice aesthetic to it. And it's from what I've seen so far, the Netflix show is more grounded as far as like the lore and what's going on and stuff goes. So like they're telling a more controlled story as opposed to before where it was like random shit is happening and you're just kind of like piecing it together. So
Neat.
yeah.
But yeah, y'all, this has been episode 77. And we almost came up on 2 hours. Nice girthy episode for you this week. And we will see you guys same time next week. So y'all be safe. Have a great set of games, even better day. And as always, hit them with it.
The internet was a mistake.
There you go. We almost caught him slipping. COVID didn't keep him down, y'all.
Hell
You got
no.
it.